Okay. See the crooked tree?
Yeah.
To the right of it, there's another tree that's straight.
Okay.
You can just see the top of it. The stand is right there.
Okay.
You can't miss it.
Sounds good.
So the first big tree you come to, right behind it, 15 yards off the little trail is the tree stand.
Yeah. So
In that tree right there.
Yeah. Take the road around to the crooked tree, then take a right off the road.
Yep, there's a cedar right there. Just turn right there, and you'll see the stand. The stand is in that tree that you can see to the right of it. You can just barely see the trunk. It's straight.
Okay, I got you. And
Yeah.
Jason will climb up first and get in his stand.
That's right.
So it's mid-November and we're here in Oklahoma hunting rutting whitetail bucks. And as you can tell, it's very windy out right now. This is our first day. It's been good so far. We saw some nice bucks, but there's some really big whitetails out here. And I've got 2 buck tags and a handful of doe tags that I can fill if I want. So we're just gonna be tree stand sitting, maybe doing a little spot and stock hunting if the opportunity presents itself. This is a foreign type of hunting to me. I don't really ever hunt under tree stands, nor do I usually have the patience to do it, but this place is special. It's beautiful out right now too. You gotta do a lot of walking when you're in tree stands. So I'm trying to get used to it. Just had a pretty nice heavy buck that we saw yesterday come right underneath the stand. And then he smelled something, wheeled it, ran away, did a loop around us, avoided us. But I probably would have shot him. He's a nice buck. We saw him yesterday. Got a really good look at him. But he didn't like something, so now he's gone. So it really doesn't matter if I liked him or wanted to shoot him, because it's not an option right now.
I sure thought that buck I saw was going to be going for you on the crawl line. He had a big frame on him. I thought it was going to be. How you ready to get that? It doesn't cost anything to draw your bow. So if you have a buck running, coming, and it's so tight in there, if that doe doesn't stop, you're going to get a split second. So it's not going to hurt you to draw your bow. Buck comes out, oh, it's not a shooter, let down. Yeah.
Okay.
Like purgatory for shooting whitetails for me is like 20 to 40. That is like the worst range. And like the 30 to 40 is the very worst.
Further than that, they can't hear at times.
Further than that, it's not as loud, but I guess intrusive on them, and they don't react as violently as they do in that like 30 to 40 range.
If you're been a full draw a long time, would you just like keep waiting for him to turn, or would you put one in him if he was facing away, just like right down and it turns back?
So the problem with a straightaway animal of any kind, but especially anything you're hunting from above that's straight away, you've just reduced your odds by 50% if you don't hit the mark.
Yeah.
You're going to hit one lung left or right, and it will live forever on lung.
Okay.
Oh, if they're close, put it right before.
Wherever it should be. Okay.
Yeah. because they're not going to be able to swing on you enough to make a difference. But if it's a 35-yard shot, you got to be back.
Yeah. So normally when I'm hunting Western big game, I would aim exactly where I want the arrow to hit the animal. And what you're saying with these whitetails is that I need to anticipate the fact that by the time my arrow gets to them, they will have moved a significant amount. And so I need to actually, aim lower typically and back, assuming they're going to rotate backwards or if they're just going to move a bit.
Yeah.
Archery hunting for whitetail bucks here in Oklahoma is a completely foreign style of hunting to me, so it's really fun to learn a new way of hunting big game. Haven't had a chance to kill a big buck yet. Had a lot of small, nice, average bucks come in, and there are a couple, well, more than a couple. There are several very large whitetails that have been on Brian's trail cameras, buddy Brian, who we're hunting out here with. So it's really hard to unsee those photos once you've seen them. But you know what's out there. It's like, okay, that's the caliber deer that are out here.
Putting up a new tree stand here. There's a really nice buck hanging around in here. It's time to kill a big whitetail buck.
See the water tank on the fence? See the dark thing on the fence? That's a water tank. So, yep, exactly. Right south of that, there's a ridge. Straight rises up. See the little bush to the right? To the right of the solar panel? If you lined up that rock and that bush, he's right on the back side of that little ridge right there, bedded right there on the other side. Yeah. Yeah. But what you're going to have to do is come over that ridge because the wind's doing more of this than I thought.
So Brian found a buck out here in this grass that we're sneaking in on right now. Like no wind. Not a great setup. But we're going to make a play on it anyway.
That pasture right there, that fence to the road is a jungle. It's like this high. This is called the bowl.
Yeah.
And
we can pull the card and put the stand up this afternoon if you want to, because if it turns south, either that one or this one is really good, because the wind's blowing right here.
Didn't work out. That buck is chasing a doe and running around. Didn't make it. 150 yards, and that buck, we saw him standing up, just running in circles, and then he kind of ran to chase a doe off. It's over.
We're on the back half of our hunt here. Got today and 2 more days to hunt, really. Today we're getting a late start, which I have an allergic reaction to doing pretty much any time. But today, because it was pouring rain, sitting in a tree stand in pouring rain didn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Now it's sprinkling, still raining, and off and on. 7:52 in the morning, so it's a very late start, but we're still gonna go sit for at least a few hours today and see if things aren't moving up and around now that the rain's kind of letting up. Just hard. I mean, it's one of these deals where we can shoot. I could have shot a lot of deer by now, but I think I'm gonna run it down to the clock, try and shoot, at least shoot something nice. But hopefully shoot something really nice. One of those big bucks shows up, I'll be real happy I waited, because they are big.
Just checking out a new spot. Got a memory card we're gonna check to see if there's any bucks that have been over here.
As soon as we got in that stand, we hadn't been there maybe 5 minutes. In fact, we were still messing around with like getting cameras positioned and whatnot. We had an 8-point buck come in from the right that I saw, and I decided as soon as I saw him, just because it's been kind of a tough hunt, that like I was going to shoot him. And he comes and he's walking through the field, and I'm getting ready. And as soon as he gets right out in front of us, which is the direction our wind is blowing, he just stops real quick. You see him like kind of kick out his back leg like he's gonna blow out because he smelled us. And I thought, oh man, it's all gonna be over. And as I'm watching him, I'm just sitting there watching him. And you can see this on the camera because we had a GoPro on the tree opposite right in front of me. What I couldn't see at the time was that there was a bigger buck directly behind our stand. And I could see his eyes start to pan to the right just ever so slightly. And I realized that I knew he saw a deer. I thought it would have been a doe because it's the rut and they get locked on does right now. And so I just like looked to my left and I see this bigger buck walking out in the field behind me and coming around and getting all puffed up and posturing, and which like immediately gave me a good bout of buck fever, and I had to take a few deep breaths and just kind of like bring it back down. But love that feeling when you get buck fever. It makes you feel alive. I always range markers wherever I'm at, so I don't have to mess with my rangefinder in the heat of the moment. And I had ranged a leaf that I thought was 30 yards, and I thought that buck was at 30, He was actually a 22, so I shot him for 30 on the nose, and it hit him high, right in the spine, lower spine, and he dropped really fast. Jason, meanwhile, because of the tree, who was filming, couldn't see this bigger buck, and his 8-point goes running off. And Jason's like, "What's going on?" Because I quickly grabbed another arrow, knock it, and put another round in him just to finish him off. And it was just one of those incredibly serendipitous moments where you had 2 deer coming from opposite directions who just happened to be in the same place at the same time. Had that not happened, I never would have shot that big buck. I never would have seen him, and I would have shot the smaller of the 2 bucks. But it just worked out really well, and I'm real happy with how it did work out. This deer must have been coming in right behind us, and then he came out right there, and I thought, and so, because then all of a sudden as his eyes were moving, I'm like, oh, he sees a deer, and so I just went like that, and this dude was just like, you know, just like all puffy and shit, walked out in the field, and I was just like, I got buck fever. I haven't had buck fever in a long time.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude, I didn't even have like an ounce of buck fever on that big mule deer I shot.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that boy gave me buck fever.
This got you all jacked up.
Oh, I'm just so happy right now. Worked out perfectly. Now it's raining hard. So we're gonna get the hell out of here before we ruin this camera.
Been a very, very quiet morning. Rained all night. It's raining right now. Thought today would be really active since it rained all night. Not so much. Things could pick up anytime. We're back in the same tree that we were at last night. I got 2 buck deads on this trip, so